Welcome, everybody, to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only anime podcast that is no longer going to do the cringy, deep-throated intro. My name is English Mike. I am your host, as always. Joining me is the Mothman.
Hello.
And the Frog King.
Yeah, here I am.
Frog, there was like a slight moment where Frog was like, "Can I go this deep?" I was like, "Nope."
No, the only people who are ever on this podcast that can ever try to act like any of us is when Kev's on, because he does a flawless impersonation.
It was so good.
All I had to do is just mimic pro-tanky rhetoric, and it was perfect.
I will throw you in a gulag and send you off to Moscow, you son of a bitch.
I need to get everybody in a mood right now. Okay, so I need you guys to understand how my week went this week and how it's like amazing that I'm in as good of a mood as I'm in at all right now. I made it up from Fairbanks. I spent 4 days up in Fairbanks, and it's a 7-hour drive from Anchorage to Fairbanks. And that's like, you know, it is what it is. It's a 7-hour drive. So I had to go up Monday, and I came back Thursday night. And Friday I had to fill an MRI. And filling an MRI is a process that I think I should be more scared of, but I'm just emotionally dead to it these days. And the entire process is you have liquid helium, which I think goes from a gas to a liquid at 7 or 6 degrees Kelvin. It's enough to kill you, right? Don't mess with liquid helium. And what you have to do is you have to push 99.99, it's like 59% helium gas, into these giant, they basically look like brewer cylinders, like the stuff that they brew, it looks like a giant distiller, like a moonshining distiller, except it's made out of like platinum or something, or aluminum, I think. And you have to basically push helium gas into these distillers filled with like 250 liters of liquid helium. And you have to fill that into a magnet. And the thing is, the helium gas, as it's like liquidy and gassish, the molecule is so small because it's a noble gas that if you like mess up the seal at all, because you have to more or less like seal two conjoined points, the entire point of a helium fill is you're basically like redoing a twist tie plumbing mechanism. So you have to like lock this into place, and it's going to get cold, and if you screwed up the seal at all, or if like the little silicone disc or the rubber disc that you have in there breaks, like it starts leaking. So it's this super high stress thing that takes like 4 hours to do. I had to fill and ramp a magnet, which ramping a magnet, another scientific thing, is basically putting around 500 amps of power into this line. And it was a high stress day. Friday was just the worst day I've had. I'm done Friday night. I start at 8 a.m. and I finish at 6 p.m. And 10 hours isn't so bad for a shift. For 10 hours straight, I was monitoring an MRI and keeping the helium going, like making sure my transfer didn't fail, making sure the magnet didn't quench. Quenching is a term when all your liquid helium rapidly turns into gas and leaves. And if there's a break in that line at all, say hello to asphyxiation and death. Like, you can absolutely die in hundreds of wonderfully unique ways. My personal favorite is you get lightheaded because you have no idea how much oxygen is in the room. And you start getting lightheaded from the helium leak, and you just fall off the ladder and die.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, like the amount of ways you can die while working on a magnet is phenomenal.
Magnets are pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, but they're like the one modality that won't kill you. Like CT will give you cancer, X-ray will give you cancer, nuclear medicine. And I mean, when I say cancer, like 1 in a billion chance of getting cancer, but still, like it'll give you cancer. Happen. Yeah. So like I'm like 10 hours of just trying not to die dealing with this magnet and trying to keep this magnet up and running for Monday morning. I get off at like 6:30, so 10 hours, a little bit more than 10 hours. And as I'm driving home, I'm trying to listen to my Stormlight book. I'm trying to listen to this book that I love, this fantasy series. It's like a 55-hour book, and I'm like 38 hours into it. And I get a call from a number I don't recognize. And I answer it, and I'm like, this is Moth. And the guy's like, hey, Patriot. And I was like, yeah, and I was just like, oh no. Because I know exactly which customer this is now. And like, here's the thing, I have to be super cordial and super nice to all my customers because like our sales are entirely based on how well I do. So, like you want more equipment so you can justify your job, so you don't get fired or laid off because there's not enough equipment for how many workers there are. So
Yeah, workplace security.
yeah, work job security. That's all it is. Like, I like a lot of my I like a lot of my customers. One of my customers tells me about like all the time she tries like different drugs. She's like, yeah, I'm just glad I made it into work today because I'm still a little bit hungover. I'm like, you really shouldn't be telling me this. And by hungover, I don't mean she drinks. She hasn't had like a drink of alcohol that wasn't absinthe is probably 20 years. But he calls me. He's like, hey, Patriot. I'm like, hey, man. Frick.
Just wanted to know if you're coming over to the Capitol this Sunday.
Almost. The story's going to get a little bit political, but this guy is such fringe politics that you like. It's super fringe. Okay, just
when
trust
you
me.
say patriot and fringe, is this dude like cute? Is this
Yes. So
Love to see it.
So he calls me and he's like, hey, so I want to let you know I got an AK-47. I was like, oh, cool. Because the AK-47, like, is probably my favorite just all-around gun. Because
it's
cool.
It's the best utility gun.
I mean, technically, if we want to get into gun talk, the AR is the best utility gun, but like, the AK is just a good gun and I like it. If you give me a preference, I'll take the AK over the AR. And that's just personal preference. And he's like, yeah, it's a piece of shit, but you can't get ammo for anything else in the world. And I'm like, this dude knows the AK-47 is my favorite utility gun. Like, he knows. And he's like, yeah, well, you can't get ammo for anything else thanks to Biden getting elected. I'm just like, oh, all right. I don't have the energy for this. Like, I really don't have the energy for this. And I'm like, yeah, it's nice. It's the only gun where you can get ammo for less than, like, 20 cents a round. And I shoot a P90 that shoots, like, 5.7, so I'm paying, like, 60 cents a bullet right now.
Jeez.
It's disgusting. And those are 50-round magazines, so it's, like, you have to take out a second mortgage on your house to go shooting. So he's like, yeah, well, you can get ammo here. You get out. This guy said he has 40,000 rounds in stock. And, like, I just got a ton of bullets. He's like, and I'm like, well, okay, is that gun a Century Arms? Because Americans can't make AK-47s right now. Like, until Palmetto State redid their manufacturing process, we haven't been able to make good AKs. He's like, man, it's an AK. Don't try to get smart with AKs. I'm like, all right, cool. This is a gun I actually know. Don't buy By the way, just for our users who are shopping, never buy an American AK unless it's a Gen 3 Palmetto State. Like, just get an import. Get a Russian import, pay the $1,200, get that.
I like how this dude in the story was like, yeah, I got sushi, and you're like, where'd you get it from? He's like, don't worry about it, it's Walmart sushi, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm worried for this man's life. But he's talking to me, and I thought he wanted to talk guns, and I'd be away from it. And all of a sudden he's like, so, you and your wife, you got a bug out plan?
Jesus. You're already in Alaska.
Like, my bug out plan is just to drive to Soldotna, dude. Like, don't worry about it. He's like, yeah, when the power goes out, when Biden takes the stand to become president. And I was like, ugh. Okay. Bear in mind that, like,
when Biden, like, launches the nukes at all the red states, then,
bear in mind, almost 2 years ago when we started this podcast, I made these two promise that we would not talk politics. And I still stand because, like, I don't want to be a political podcast, but this dude is so far... Like, the reason I'm even telling this story is because I used to be a conspiracy theorist, but, like, I was always, hey, the Mothman did 9/11, like... I was always like, the conspiracies that nobody actually believes. And people like this guy have made it no longer fun to be a conspiracy theorist.
The conspiracy theory community is dead because of actual conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, like World Weekly News, those kind of things where you can just laugh about it. Like, hey, there's some conspiracies that you can go back and forth on forever. Like, is the Mothman real? What actually happened at Point Pleasant? Like, have we seen alien sightings? Like, the harmless, the boomer conspiracies.
I feel like you're confusing conspiracy theories with, like, tall tales.
No. Point Pleasant is, like, a really interesting thing to look into.
So is Skinwalker Ranch.
There's so much shit going on with, like, the actual Mothman, like, conspiracy that's, like... Don't get me wrong, it's all bullshit. Not all of it. I personally think
to choke Mike.
I personally think that it was the government testing the effects of psychedelics in the water system in the town.
See, there you go, and that's a conspiracy theory regarding, and those are fun. But like QAnon and Facebook boomer memes have actually made being like, if I said I was a conspiracy theorist like 10, 15 years ago, I would get like an eye roll and be like, no, trust me, dude. Like weird stuff's been happening at Skinwalker Ranch, like, you know, and we could talk about those things. But now it's like, yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I get lumped in with QAnon.
Well, I mean, all this like, I don't think
when I think conspiracy theory, I think of flat Earth and shit first.
Yeah, like
flat Earth is a joke.
Conspiracy
to some people.
Conspiracy theorist is someone that's like crazy. You're more of like a conspiracy enthusiast.
Yeah,
even if you believe it, like you're more interested in it than you are like actually believe that lizards did 9/11.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the Mothman didn't do 9/11. I love the Photoshop picture there, but it's just fun stuff. Actually, it's the Flat Earth Society, Frog. That was actually an entire forum that was basically like a debate anything forum. And these guys like basically started a semi like cult of personalities where they're like, what if the Earth was flat? And it devolved into a bunch of like arguments back and forth where like they had to defend their point because obviously the Earth is round.
I'm sure there's been like obviously a ton of ironic stuff and like you know, people who don't actually believe it, but there's actually a ton of people who really do think the Earth is flat.
Well, the people who started it were doing it ironically.
Yeah,
like,
and that's fine.
It's an unfortunate snowball, but like it started as an ironic meme.
Sure.
Yeah, so this guy, he's like, do you got a plan for when Biden gets sworn in, the electrical grid goes off? Oh, by the way, speaking of conspiracies, the one about the whole like black. Oh man, I got to be very careful here because I don't want to talk politics. But the one where people were like, yeah, it was Black Lives Matter that stormed the Capitol. You know, those were a bunch of those were a bunch of sleeper agents. The only reason I could believe that is because I had no idea this protest was going to happen, and I'm friends with a lot of these people. Like, the fact that I had no idea that this was going to happen, and I associate with these people, is the only reason I'm willing to believe that this was like an FBI psyop.
Well, I mean, the whole reason it happened is because that day Trump, like a few blocks over, held a rally, and he ended the rally by saying, "And we're gonna walk all the way down there, and I'm gonna be with you, and we're gonna tell them what we think." And then everyone there did that.
Oh no. I didn't actually like I said, I had no idea how this happened, so like that's the only reason I'm willing to believe that was an FBI psyop.
And I know you didn't look into it, Moth, but there's some funny shit in that. There was a dude who tased his own balls.
Oh gosh, and gave himself a seizure because he was trying to loot and steal from the Capitol.
He died from tasing his own balls. That's real. That's a real thing that actually happened.
I think my favorite memes that came out of this, as long as we don't talk about the politics of these people, I think we're okay. As long as we just talk about the stuff we found humorous,
yeah,
I think
that's fine.
I think the one that my favorite is like somebody edited the Wikipedia article for terrorism, and they used the photo of the old woman who has no idea why she's there, just holding the flag and smiling at the camera. You know what photo I'm talking about, right, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
I probably.
It's that like really old lady. She's like got her mask pulled down and she's like smiling for the camera with this like handheld American flag, and she's like, "I'm in the Capitol." And they made that the image for domestic terrorism.
My personal favorite is the when they edited the Animaniacs opening. To where it's like, they did the Animaniacs jingle where it's at the end like, we're absolutely zany, and then it goes to the clip of the chick who said, "They pushed me down and maced me." And it lines up perfectly with the beat. It's so fucking funny.
Also, I just, I know this might be a slightly obscure idea, but I'm going to straight up say it. Like, I can appreciate somebody without agreeing with them. And I gotta say, like, that QAnon shaman is a gorgeous human being. Like, he is a beautiful specimen who clearly works out and takes care of his body. And all the photos of him just doing stuff is some of the most beautiful meme culture I have seen in years. Like, all the Fallout New Vegas memes with him.
Oh, God.
I am an actual bisexual person, and I no, like... He's just I can't, like, there's nothing about, and I'm just talking about aesthetically.
Okay.
Like, And I like the rugged look. Like, I'm from the South. I'm surrounded by rugged men. One of my former crushes was just like a fucking fat lumberjack looking dude. But like this dude, he looks like Daddy's money wanted to do a fucking cabin building exercise.
I will say though, my absolute this made me so happy because I enjoy watching meltdowns. Like watching the 2016 election results was phenomenal. Watching the 2020 election results was phenomenal. And then when the results flipped after the third, and watching the other side have a meltdown. Getting to see two separate political parties having a psychological meltdown within 48 hours was just, that was orgasmic for me.
Dude, it's still going. There are fucking people that are analyzing, I'm doing air quotes, analyzing like the Trump speech where he's telling people to go home and that he loves them.
Oh, and they're saying it's a deep fake?
Yes, and they think he was replaced with a fucking clone.
Oh, I love it.
This is how the cope is reaching overdose levels.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, there's something I was going to say and now I forgot because I was talking about like the fact that I enjoy like, no, here's what it is. So those QAnon shamans and whatnot really set off a lot of my pagan friends on Facebook.
Well, there's the Q shaman.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. He has pagan tattoos.
Yeah, here's the thing. I have people on my Facebook that actively like straw man argument Christianity every day of the week. Like they actively like, oh yeah, well, unlike you Christians, I won't sell my daughter into slavery. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna talk Old Testament stuff, and you're gonna become an anti-Semite real fast, buddy. Like I have people who actively misquote the Bible and crap on Christianity. Like I can't log into my Facebook without one of these like I'm not sure what the term
like
for
Reddit atheism shit.
No, it's Odinists because they believe in Norse. I know my buddies who believe
Paganists. They're pagans.
Well, no, because my buddies who are Greek believers are called Hellenists. I'm trying to remember the actual like term.
The general term for like the people like just that are like non-denominational, but like have like kind of vaguish beliefs from like that part of the world is pagan.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I got these guys who crap on Christianity all the day for like, they'll use the Westboro Baptist Church as a reason like why churches should no longer be tax immune and stuff like that. And I just this Q shaman shows up and all these like dudes marching the Capitol, some of which are buff as hell, show up and they're just screaming at the top of their lungs, "This isn't paganism. We're a peaceful people." And I'm like, hey there, the other shoe fell.
I mean that's actually like fair. Like white nationalists unironically have co-opted pagan imagery to like actually further their goals.
See,
like in Q Shaman is an example. Listen.
I see it the other way.
Quite a bit about this.
Growing up, all the white supremacists I knew were pagans. And then, all of a sudden, LARPers co-opted it. So it's the other way around. You guys are stealing white supremacy culture.
It is not the other way around. Blood and soil is a concept that comes from old paganism, and it was completely adopted by neo-Nazis.
I don't know shit about this, man. This is a bit too far the rabbit hole for me.
No. Hey, I will debate religious rabbit holes for days.
I mean, debate it all you want. I just don't have much to say about it.
I am a cringy Reddit atheist, so...
Yeah, so it's just, to me, my absolute... just the fact that these guys are like, the white supremacists are making us look bad. I'm like, dude, everything you post every day on Facebook makes you look bad. Like, this dude actually made you guys look kind of cool because he's the first buff LARPer I've seen in years.
I really don't think... The Nazi is making pagans look cool, dude.
No, just buff people make you look cool. Like, I can't tell you, every LARPer I know is one step away from a gastric bypass. And maybe that's just Alaska, but
Moth over here like the golden one. YouTube.com/the golden one. Dude. Yeah, that guy's got the good ideas.
No, here's the problem. I know who he is. And here's the thing. I actually really like the dedication because he talks about the fact that his body fat percentage is a little bit higher because he tries to maintain a perfect balance at his T levels. And his fashion line is gorgeous. But then I was following this guy on Twitter passively because I like bodybuilders. I'll follow bodybuilders. And he's just like, yeah, I'm moving to Gab. It's not safe for me here anymore. And I'm like, all right, I'm done.
yeah, there you go.
Like,
That's the thing, right? You can find like that's happened before, where I find like someone like who I kind of enjoy the content of or something, and then like I'll take one look at like their personal account or something, and it's like,
Yeah, there are lots of artists who do the horny real good that I like. Who just anytime they talk about anything else, I'm like, God. Like Krekov. Krekov's a good example of that. Love Krekov, but such a dum-dum.
Well, I've tried very hard for our fans to keep my Twitter apolitical.
Which is why no one follows you.
I don't like talk. Like, here's the thing. I have a musician that I recently, like probably about 2 months ago, got really into, which was Kawaii Sprite, the guy doing Friday Night Funkin'.
right, yeah.
And he made during I won't say what he said because I don't want to analyze politics, but during the Capitol riot that happened, he made some very straw man, inflammatory, high violent statements. Actually, like, "Hey, I want to see these people lynched up and murdered," which. As a pacifist, that scares me. Like, as a pacifist, I hate calls for violence. And then when everyone's like,
So let's kill that guy.
Hey, dude, could you calm down? Like, you're harshing my vibe. He just started screaming Soldier Boy lyrics the entire time. Like,
This is like that copy pasta of like I met this guy at like a supermarket, and he would just kept like negging like the bartender or whatever. Bartender?
yeah.
Friday Night Funkin' dude is like legitimately probably a little unhinged.
All three of them are.
Yeah, there's a couple.
But, like,
because
they're
the
the-
guy
they're
doing the
the good
graphics, and the guy
unhinged.
doing the music and stuff.
There was one of the Friday Night Funkin' people. I don't know which one. I think it was the lead dev who was like saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna release. I'm not gonna use the slur. I'm gonna release a game about trans people where you just kill them. Where you just fucking kill them all day
Wasn't
long."
that like a
But
year ago before Friday Night Funkin' even came out?
Yeah, it was a
though?
while back.
Yeah, but like they still fucking said it. But they also followed it up with, and on the same day, I'm gonna release a Tinder game about the trans experience, and it's gonna blow people's minds. It's like, no, you're just gonna be fucking weird. Stop.
Well, I think my biggest fear, and I will say I have incorrectly placed my fears of cancel culture on you, Mike. I'm sorry. I think a biggest fear I have is if you look at Tom Fulp, if you ask any Newground creator, like Tom Fulp is the most wholesome, like, I like there are literal podcasts where anytime Tom Fulp comes up, you will hear the expression like "give you the shirt off his back." Mm-hmm. And yet, one of Tom Fulp's first submissions to his own site in 1999 happened right after the Columbine shooting, called "Chico Saves the School," and it's this belief that like people can change in a year, and
Maybe.
so like it's that thing like if not Kawaii Sprite, but what is it? Phantom Arcade, is that the guy's name?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
think
but
Ninja
like,
Muffin
I
is one of
saw.
them.
Here's the deal, Moff. I just want to be very clear. I saw a tweet that was that post and like 3 others, and I said to that tweet, this person is just being edgy for edgy's sake,
exactly.
and it's cringy, but it's not worth a call out post. It's just like, okay, it's worth a like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Not so much a cancel this person on Twitter.com or. But like, yeah, people can change. It's not about like the bad things people have done in the past. It's about like, are they still a piece of shit now?
Well, it was all those people that actively still try to cancel Vivzy. Like, if we're gonna jump to the other side of the
That's a
spectrum,
whole different thing, though. That's
let's look at Vizzy, okay? Like,
that was the thing. And don't get me wrong, but it's a very different thing. But yeah.
Well, it's like she's 26, maybe 27. She's very, very young, especially for the position she's in. She's very young. She created something that isn't like even Rick and Morty now feels kind of trite and very what's the term for it? Very produced. Like
Sure.
Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel does not feel produced. It feels like a passion of love. The characters are unique. Here's the thing: they fired a very, very good voice actor because he was being a sex pest. Like.
Based.
Vizzy has her ship on like,
Seems
the Stolas
fair.
voice actor. I hate the new Stolas voice actor, but like the previous one couldn't stop being a sex pest, so they got rid of him.
That
like-
seems fair.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I know.
she actively monitors things. Like, she has trans representation that isn't
Yeah.
suicide. She has positive LGBT representation. She talks about dealing with divorced parents. She tries to paint things in a good light. She tries to take things in a humorous route. Like, she tries to do a little bit. She does it a lot. And even though she's got an animator who just wants to fuck werewolves and won't stop putting werewolves in her stuff.
Wait, is that what that's about?
Yeah, Ashley, one of her animators, like, just wants to get raw dogged by like 5 werewolves at once.
I respect it.
I mean, sure, yeah. But, like, you know, and then a lot of people are like, well, she was a pedophile. She drew a comic where, like, a 20-year-old dude was interested in a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Did you know that she was still a minor when she drew that comic?
Listen, people on Twitter are dumb. They're not always justified.
Like,
most of the time they're not.
Or, like, some people are saying she's into bestiality. And I'm like, where did this come from?
Don't worry. People, listen. Twitter's dumb.
Yeah, Twitter.
No one's arguing
like,
that Twitter sucks and that everyone on it's bad.
I think one of my
There's an entire like community on Twitter, and it's left and right, of people who will just like call you out for just not having their same politics.
Pretty much.
Mike,
and I don't mean like.
Do you realize how much of that you retweet? Just so you know.
Wait.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm dumb.
Like it's people who are like. Not the same politics isn't the right answer. The right words. What I mean to say is, they'll call you out for not being as virtuous as they are.
Yeah.
And it exists. Like if you're on the left, you see a lot of it from the right, and if you're on the right, you see a lot of it from the left.
Yeah. Well, it's and you know what? I curated my Twitter so well that I didn't even know the Capitol riots were happening until like 2 hours later. Like. I was so proud of my Twitter because I didn't even know the riots were going on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I was so proud of my community.
You want to hear something really weird?
What?
I got a follower from you recently.
Wait, what? Which one?
Yep. I don't remember their name. It was... I have almost 300 followers. I don't remember each one, but it was about a week ago. The only thing that we had in common was that he followed you already. It was very weird.
I don't know. But one of the things I was going to tell you is one of my favorite content creators, Technical Dave, he was talking the other day. He's like, it's gotten to the point where I'm going back to Tumblr because they're not half as crazy as y'all fuckers on Twitter.
That's true, dude. Tumblr's chilled out after the porn thing.
Yeah, it's almost as if porn makes people crazy.
Okay, wait.
Listen, I jerk off more. Actually, I don't jerk off that often. I jerk off like once every few days because I have a low libido. But I do jerk off and I vibe.
Mike, work out. If you just start working out more, if you start running, you're going to get your testosterone back like you're a 15-year-old high school boy. You're going to be able to hump a hole through drywall.
My testosterone levels are actually good.
Then you should be able to you should be popping boners every day. Like I work out it's hard to say how many days a week I work out in my schedule, but like I do a 3-4 schedule. So like I work out 3 days, I take a day off, and like during that time I do at least 2 days of cardio in those 4 days, and it's gone to the point where like I can't even like walk around in public unless I'm wearing like the loosest cargo pants because I'm just always hard all the time now. Like
it seems like a problem.
It seriously feels like freshman year of high school. Like it's just I can't walk through doorways unless like I'm going straight through. I can't walk sideways anymore. It's just.
It sounds to me like you're just drinking too much pre-workout.
Dude, it's not even okay. So here's the thing: you take some zinc. And they say the lethal dose, like you shouldn't take more than like 20 milligrams of zinc a day. Disregard that. 200 milligrams of zinc a day. Okay? Get phenomenal loads. Like you'll be shooting 4-ounce loads. You'll be like you'll be your favorite hentai protagonist. Okay? Like sure, you're gonna start getting headaches and you're gonna start feeling sick. And honestly, you're gonna start throwing up a lot. And there's gonna be blood eventually. But that should not be why you should stop.
Like you should stop because you're gonna die if you keep taking it.
No, it's fine. Like, trust me, death is nothing in the face of glory.
Can you guys believe this is an anime podcast?
Yeah, right? This week, we're talking about a show that Mike wanted to try. Not try, he likes it a lot already. But
well, if we jump straight into Katanagatari, which is the thing we want to talk about, this is going to last 30 minutes, because this is the first episode.
We can always, we're fine.
Okay.
We'll be okay.
Look, I do need to finish that story that we started 20 minutes ago, though.
We'll get back to it.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so he's calling me and he's talking to me, and like I'm just trying to. I swear I'm just trying to get home. And this dude is like, yeah, the Dominion voting machines. And I was like, oh, no.
You know what's funny about the Dominion voting machines?
Please.
Most of the Dominion voting machines that were used in the election had Trump winning in that area. So, like, most of the Dominion machines went to Trump, so what are you guys talking about?
It's the same thing. It was the same thing in 2016 where they didn't run the screen calibrations. And they're like, look, no matter what I press, it won't activate unless I go for Hillary. And it was like the guy was using a machine that hadn't been calibrated yet.
Oh.
And so... Here's the only thing that was really, truly, honest to God sketchy, and I still don't know if I trust the explanation that was given because it was so weird, and we saw it happen again like a month later, was when they stopped counting votes at 4 a.m. And whether that's sketchy or not, that's a terrible way to handle an election. Like, pull an all-nighter and don't stop counting votes, or else you get a bump that gives crazy conspiracy theorists something to talk about.
I don't remember that happening, but I didn't keep like religious track of it though, so I don't know.
Most of those bumps were due to the fact that they count
mail-in ballots late.
Yeah, and because Trump literally told people don't mail in your ballots, like all the mail-in ballots ended up being for Biden.
Here's the thing, by the way, if you want to commit voter fraud, this is I will tell you the only honest to God way you can commit voter fraud is you can vote twice, and you get a mail-in ballot mailed to you. And you fill it out, and you drop it off at the post office. And then you do it in such a way, like you do it like 2 days before the election or something. And then you go vote. And you might be able to vote twice. Bada bing, done.
Just
actually,
don't do that.
Like the way they count that is that they'll get both of the ballots, but the one that is postmarked like
sooner,
the first time the first thing they receive, that's the one they'll count, and the other one gets thrown away.
Okay, well there you go. Like it is actually and I get that every state does voting differently. Like Pennsylvania is an absolute cesspit for handling elections. Alaska, we're pretty chill. Like we jump on our moose.
Yeah, you guys are real cold.
We head to the post office. We got 50 people standing in line for the entire population of Anchorage, and we're not like some huge place that's going to deal with like not even voter fraud, but just like mishandling of voter ballots. Like, I get every state does it differently, but like, please do not give the crazy people like ammunition. Like,
I think no matter what happens, the crazy people are going to find ammunition. So
these days, like I completely agree, because it's not it. A while back, I was driving to work. This would have been probably about 2 or 3 months ago. And there was a QAnon rally happening in the middle of town.
I didn't actually believe it was real until like 2 weeks ago. I didn't actually believe... I thought it was, honest to God, a poll meme.
No.
Have you ever...
No, that's real.
No. Have you ever heard of, Save Your Children?
Okay, now let me clarify something here. So white supremacists stole that from Mormons.
I was going to refer to the movement that's going around of people who are they're hiding QAnon shit by saying, we gotta save our children. But if you press them for anything, they'll say our children are being kidnapped and put into deep underground military bases and harvested for their adrenochrome to keep the rich people for being immortal forever.
No, they're outsourcing that to China with the Uyghur Muslims. Like, don't worry about it.
Uber Muslims.
Oh, listen. Let's not talk about a genocide on the podcast.
Instead, let's talk about the show we're going to talk about.
So, like I said, the dude just would not stop for 20 minutes. Like, I'm driving home, and, like, I gotta be nice to this guy because I fixed his system. And he's talking, he's like, so about those Dominion voting machines, I'm like, yeah, it was kind of weird how a bunch of World of Warcraft accounts were pinging the Dominion machines. Like, I was just kind of throwing, like, whatever conspiracy theory I had heard at him, just, like, whatever. And he's like, yeah, my wife, I green card married her from Colombia, right, or something. And I was like, yeah, you always talk about the fact that, she really should put out more because you can get her sent, deported with her green card.
God, I hope that's a joke.
I really don't know anymore. and he's talking like nonstop, and it was like the most painful, soul crushing experience because like I can live in a happy sphere and believe things are a meme, and it happens on the left too. Like it is just like I look at these things and I laugh and I think they're the funniest thing on the planet, and then I talk to these people and I'm like, oh, you actually believe this.
Yeah, and a surprising number of them who even say they're joking actually believe it, and they just want you to think they're joking so they can keep saying it around you.
Well, I told you what happened to me. Like I think it was literally last week where I joined a Facebook group like absent-mindedly probably 6 months ago about transhumanism.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like transhumanism is great because I've wanted to be Mega Man since I was like 5 years old. Like, so the idea of getting my body transported to like a RoboCop killer war machine sounds awesome to me. Like, you know, even as a pacifist, the idea of having an arm cannon just seems awesome. So I follow this. It's called like the Pan-European Transhumanist Society.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the European part is when you know it's getting mixed.
Exactly.
Okay, but if it was like the Pan-South African Transhumanist Society, it'd probably just be reruns of Chappie.
What's that?
Yeah.
Chappie is the single
European
best
is a
movie
big
ever made.
Along those circles. It's part of the LARP.
Yeah, okay.
We've gotten very political this episode.
Everything is a LARP now, Frog.
I mean,
no,
it's because they're literally not European, is the thing.
We're not. I don't think we're being super political because I think I'm trying to actively make fun of the largest fringe groups possible. Like the furthest away, like so close it might as well be at the other end of the horseshoe. That's who I'm trying to target here.
The only ones we haven't offended yet are the Illuminati, who do suck a bunch of cocks. So I'm going to strike that off the list now.
Here's the thing: as somebody who's actively tried to join the Freemasons, but my wife won't let me. Illuminati's real. It's just it's MasterCard. If you want to know what the Illuminati is, it's MasterCard.
Like the credit card company.
Yes.
You know what? Sure. Every corporation is part of the Illuminati. Let's go with that.
Yeah, no, the banks, the international
Let's take
banks
down
of
the
Illuminati.
corporations.
There you go.
Okay. Let's not talk about the international bankers.
What are you talking about? Like I'm just saying, like anybody who has a huge stockpile of money is probably the Illuminati.
I just need you to understand that international banks is a dog whistle for Jewish
that
people.
is the thing.
Why is that a dog whistle?
Because
Mike, why is that a dog whistle?
Okay? Well, let's get into that later.
I don't understand what is wrong with you people.
It's not us. It's the fucking like far right ethno nationalist Nazi guys who literally want to make everything something bad because they hate everything that isn't white.
So I can't now hate the corporations that have all the money.
No, please
it's
do.
a dog whistle.
Please keep hating the corporations.
You can hate the corporations, but just be aware of the words you use. Like, if you say, I hate the international bankers, there are people who are going to hear that, and they're going to say, this is my guy.
I don't understand. I don't understand anymore.
A lot of people don't.
I just want to hate. Never mind.
Internet. Well, I mean, when you hear international bankers, what do you think? Like just like all the banks?
I literally think the CEO of like Key Bank and like MasterCard. I don't know who that person is. I just think of like honestly, when you have that anonymous symbol where it's a dude in a suit with a black tie and his head is a question mark. Like, that's kind of what I think of when I say I hate, like, the international bankers. It's just, like, this soulless money-printing machine.
See, you have the right idea. You just...
The words you use just happen to have been co-opted by bad people.
Pretty much.
All right, I'm taking it back.
No.
I'm taking back international bankers.
The only way you could take back international bankers is if you said fuck Nazis after every single time you said it.
Nope, I've decided end of the podcast. I'm taking back international bankers and porch monkeys. I'm taking those two words back.
God, can we say that on here?
We can because it's a line from Clerks 2.
If this wasn't a Katanagatari episode, I would totally name it. We're taking back the international bankers.
Katanagatari is taking back international.
Taking back Canada.
Gosh, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Pan-European Transhumanist Society. It was, for a while it was like, hey, here are the diets you can have to make sure you have the strongest mental health for when this happens. Like, a lot of them were articles like theorizing when we would reach the point to transhumanism. And out of the blue, it wasn't a Facebook group, it was a page. The owner of the Facebook page just started posting articles like how to keep your daughter from becoming a mud shark.
Oh!
Can we say that on the podcast?
Yeah, because it's a white woman. It's fine.
I know, but
it's like, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I was browsing through Facebook in public and I see this pop up and I'm just like, and it's just a picture of 50 Cent smiling at a camera for the article picture. And I was like, well, there's an unfollow.
How much of this are we cutting now?
Like, how did these things happen? Mike Frog, tell me.
Well,
you see, far-right people
you are like little baby.
They like to hide all their bullshit in little bombs.
Let's not say far right people, because there are actually there are genuinely good people on every side of the spectrum.
Genuinely good people on both sides.
Okay,
let's say fringe.
No.
Let's say fringe.
Moth. There are no good far right people. Like
there's no good far left people. Mike.
How many? Okay, we're cutting most of this out. Okay,
yeah,
cool. I fucking hate you guys. Can't talk
all right,
about
yeah. You know what, Mike? Let's because we're about to get into a bad conversation. Let's just cut it after I said like the 50 Cent mud shark thing.
Let's cut it like
that's where I should cut it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So we'll cut it. Here's where you put a little speech where it's like Moth went into a huge conversation about using eugenics to check the length of somebody's nose to figure out if they're a good person, and then we'll keep going from there.
This was the eugenics portion of the podcast, and has since been cut due to racial insensitivity.
We should really not have a German on the podcast for that part.
Unfortunately, none of us sprachen the Deutsch.
I do fluently.
It was lost on everybody.
I do fluently, Mike.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Okay, good. All right, so and we're back. So now that we have ended our complete hatred for everything, Mike, you have decided to co-op this year and talk about Katanagatari every other episode.
So, actually, it's not every other episode, but we'll get into that. Basically, I have scheduled this podcast for the entire upcoming year into next year. And one thing I want to start doing is I want to start doing watch-alongs, where we get together, we watch most of, if not an entire show, or maybe we end up dropping it. That might be fun if we watch something real bad. And we talk about it on the show as we go through it with our audience and with ourselves. And I wanted to start with my favorite show that literally no one has watched.
And you know what? I am sorry about that.
No. I can't blame you. I can't blame anyone. It's not available anywhere. Like, you have to go and find it.
Yeah, this is, I actually stand by piracy no matter what, but you absolutely have to pirate the show or get, like, a third resell from freaking eBay to get it.
It's kind of crazy.
Okay, so the show is Katanagatari. The only available English versions were done by NIS America, the people who do video
hentai games.
And it was released in 2 parts, and each part was $250.
Holy crap! Let me just pull up eBay while you're talking, Mike. Like, keep talking. I'm pulling up eBay.
It kind of blows, and not only that, but like Funny bought the rights to most of their anime to start streaming it because Diz just has a few random shows, and they didn't get Katanagatari. Fuck them so hard.
Holy crap! The entire complete Blu-ray box set is $500.
Yeah,
I just said so.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's $234 per volume. You're correct. And
trust me. This is my favorite show. I've looked at those prices and thought about it a lot.
Can I just go on my hatred for Katanagatari, or not Katanagatari, Funimation?
I mean, sure.
It's like the 7th time.
No, but like the fact is that like anybody who's now anti-localization or anybody who's anti-localization, they will point straight to Funimation. Like they will just point their finger at Funimation. This is why I'm anti-localization.
I'm getting cancer as Matt speaks. Like, I just recovered from COVID. I'm getting cancer now.
No, but like Kaguya-sama, Love is War Season 2. They make social distancing jokes in the sub when that wasn't what happened in the manga.
That's just fucking with the script. It's not the same thing as localization. It's not synonymous.
No, that is localization.
No, it's not synonymous. It's incidental.
Okay.
Yeah, like they didn't change anything about the story. They just changed the dialogue that exists in a side scene.
And it's sure it can be annoying for people. I understand if it's annoying, but it's not like a localization. It's just they just changed it. That's a change. They fucked with it.
We aren't talking about like changing like those two gay sailors from Sailor Moon into cousins.
Oh my gosh, that made me so happy. Oh, my favorite. Actually, that wasn't the most atrocious war crime that was committed for Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon, I have a friend who she loves Sailor Moon, like, but she only ever watched like the English dubs. And she was like, man, I thought it was a little bit weird that she was like 15 years old dating a 19-year-old. And I felt my heart sink a little in my chest. I'm like, you realize in the original version, she's 14 and he's an office worker, right? Like, those scenes where he's like, I have to get to college, and then it shows him working at a desk. Like, you understand that this is, like, this was straight up, like, borderline hebba-bebba-philia crap back in the day, right?
Hubba Bubba Clock.
Hubba Bubblegum.
Yeah.
A whole new kind of pedophilia.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, it was bad. But yeah, so keep going. Katanagatari, can't get a hold of it because Funimation sucks and should just disappear forever.
It's not even Funimation's fault. It's NIS. It's Nippon Ichi Software's fault for buying anime and just being like, no,
$5 billion.
Nippon Ecchi. It's National Integration Systems.
No, it's Nippon
no, it's not.
Ichi.
You're right.
Yeah, I literally know this. I play NIS games.
So can I ask you why anybody likes the Disgaea series? Because, like, I've never been able to play one of those games for more than 4
That makes
hours.
you horny.
How do those games make you horny? There's nothing to like
Just
about
the character.
characters.
I don't know anything about the game.
No. I mean, there's good ones. Every single person who's into Disgaea has a different favorite one. I'm one of the rare people that loves the second one, which I couldn't even tell you why. It's probably because, like, the main female, like, love interest is an Ocho-sama, and she constantly goes, oh, ho, ho, ho. And I don't know why. That's not even usually my thing, but I dig it. It might also be that there's, like, Power Rangers in it randomly, but they aren't Power Rangers. They're, like, parodies of Power Rangers. It's just, it's in the writing, it's in the charm. It's also for, like, fucking weird people. Big number goes up real high in that series.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not one of those people, but, like, you can get your number real big.
I'm not one of them, but I do get a big number.
I will say, Mad Rat Dead is phenomenal, though.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Mad Rat Dead?
I don't know what that is either.
It's a rhythm platformer where you actually have to move with the beat.
It sounds fun.
Like, it has one of the best soundtracks in a game that's come out since, like, Undertale.
Cool.
Anyway, Katanagatari is not on Funimation. Moth just wanted to have a detour. But
Funimation.
What Katanagatari is an incredibly interesting series written by the same guy as the Bakemonogatari series.
If I hadn't known better, like, and I still am not convinced, I'm almost positive Studio Clamp had their hands in this.
I'm pretty sure this is like actually a Kickstarter project.
Neither of those are true.
Oh, all right.
It came out in 2000. By the way, you realize that you put this in the anime of the decade, and it came out in 2007, right?
No, it came out in 2012.
No, I'm looking at the release date. Oh, the light novels. Damn it.
Yeah,
Got
dumbass.
And technically,
I literally, it's my favorite anime. I know the exact year it came out.
Really? Because it was January 25th, 2010.
Was it 2010?
Out of
what?
what?
2012.
Get wrecked.
Anyway, does not matter.
I know my favorite series.
Regardless.
Is it?
What?
I'm just making fun of you. Don't worry.
Oh, fuck you.
Yep.
This show's really interesting. It was released in a very interesting format, similar to the light novel, where each episode was released once a month, every month in the year it came out, because each episode takes place in that month. So like there's people who argue that the intended way to view it is by month, and I was like, hey, I want to start like doing this watch along thing. It's literally the start of the year. I'm making a schedule so that these monkeys will do what I tell them to.
Okay, we do what you tell us to do, whether we like it or not, because otherwise you have mental problems.
You are my mental problems. You're literally the brainworms that feast on both of you. You're both eating my brain at all times. You're the reason I'm dying young. It's not because I like cheeseburgers. It's because I have to talk to you two. It's killing me inside. But yeah, I made this huge thing, and I posted it on Twitter, though the dates have now changed because of the delays for Anime of the Year. Sorry about that, guys. But regardless, they didn't get delayed too much, so I don't actually have to change any of the actual recording episodes. So right now, we are going to talk about Katanagatari, Episode 1, the January episode. I forget the name of it because I'm not good with Japanese names, but each episode is named after the sword in that episode. Sort of.
Okay.
Which we'll get to eventually. And yeah, I just want to know, so what did you guys think?
I seriously thought this was a Clamp anime, if I'm being honest with you. Like, those character designs, the fact that the girl is completely useless and just
What does that
clumsy,
mean, Clamp? I mean, I know it's the studio, but...
Well, no, it's the...
He's just talking about the character designs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, everything, like, tall, lanky
they're not.
character...
I like the character designs. I think they're interesting. They got, like, cool little minimalistic style to them.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying that everything screamed Clamp.
Okay.
As someone who is like a medium level Clamp fan, you're absolutely crazy. You're bonkers. Like this is nothing. Clamp does melodrama and like really bad romance and like stuff for like little kids. This is very much not that. I don't even think the art is Clamp like. Like they just
It really is though.
You could argue that maybe you could argue, and you would still be wrong, that the proportions are kind of Clamp-like, but they really aren't. Like Clamp like have like stick limbs and shit. Meanwhile, Shichika is literally built like a brick shithouse.
Are Clamp the dudes who did Tsubasa? Am I crazy?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Clamp.
Yeah.
No, but like if you put XXX Holic right next to Katanagatari, the characters look exactly the same.
That literally, we have Frog here who has recently watched Tsubasa, and he can tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look they're very similar at all. I wouldn't say it's very different. It's maybe it's been a while since I watched the Clamp show, but I watched Tsubasa.
I'm literally watching XXX Holic with my wife.
I don't know. I don't see a difference. I mean a similarity personally. I think Tsubasa is more like, or at least Clamp stuff in general. I guess at least the one I saw was way more. It has like. I don't know how to describe it. It's like wonky.
It's more.
I'm not a fan
it's
of it.
more feminine, more live, more.
At least the
main character of Katanagatari actually looks like a Clamp protagonist, and the main girl looks like a Clamp female protagonist.
I don't agree there either.
Yeah, no, like Clamp protagonists look like women, and
Clamp protagonists look like
female and
boring.
Yes, like you look at Shichika, who is and he gets even better like in the next episode when he gets his like outfit for the show, because right in the first episode he's living isolated.
His sleeves, yeah.
He's living isolated on this island, and he's literally just wearing beggar clothes that he made himself.
I like his sleeves in the open; they look kind of cool.
Oh yeah,
that's his outfit.
Shichika's design it's just really fucking good. Like it's just solid, and it's totally like the reason he looks like that is because of his fighting style. Like he literally can't restrict himself, so he's like constantly just a shirtless hot guy.
A little bit of a spoiler here. The one thing I truly appreciated about that show is they talked the whole time about how they have a sword fighting technique that doesn't use swords. And then the first character he fights is a shapeshifter, and the way they explain the main character's biggest weakness is not even using the main character. They have a guy shapeshift to become the exact like carbon copy of the main character, try to wield a sword, and the sword falls out of his hands. And he goes, yeah, it's not that we don't have a sword fighting style, it's that we literally can't hold swords.
Yeah, I
that's pretty funny.
It is that moment is like it's really great because then it immediately leads into him using his ultimate attack, which
he makes up.
Not only did he make it up, but he couldn't think of a name for it, so he just named it after himself. Shichika is literally the most himbo main character I've ever seen. And I don't even know if himbo's
Krunk.
No,
Krunk,
I mean
Krunk to
Krunk
this
is
day is the ultimate himbo.
Krunk is very true good himbo, but like Shichika is someone who doesn't want to do anything. He's like chaotic, true chaotic himbo, where he's just like, I don't want to do anything. Oh, what's that? Wait, you mean to tell me that like you came to me knowing that my dad killed your fucking dad, and you're like, you want me to help you? All right, you're kind of cute, I guess. I mean, I don't know what you look like, which is that's going to be a running gag in this show. Shichika's never seen another human being except for his family,
so he can't tell people apart.
Mm-hmm. Which leads to like my favorite joke in this episode when the shapeshifter takes the form of Togame and he just runs up to her and Shichika just fucking turns around, makes eye contact, and yeets, just fucking punches him, like kick. Is it punch or kick?
It's
kick. No, punch.
It's a kick, yeah.
Yeah. Kicks him so fucking hard that they vomit up this the one of the hidden blades hidden inside of them, and he's just like, oh hey Togame, I didn't realize that was you. I fucking love that bit. And then he's like, what, you didn't know it wasn't Togame? He's like, you aren't Togame. It's like
so what'd you think? What did you think of the whole thing?
I like unique art styles.
Yeah. I
like good character designs.
Yeah.
I like irregular designs.
Yeah.
On an aesthetic standpoint, I really like the anime. I'm very 50-50 on the main character. He's got a lot of what I like and a lot of what I don't like.
I think he's pretty cool.
I like the Hunter x Hunter feel I'm getting from it with the fights. I will say, though, I'm still not convinced I like this anime. For two reasons. I really don't like the strategist girl. I don't like her at all. The fact that she's as clumsy as she is truly bothers me.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I don't like her. I don't like her clumsy meme at all. And
Maybe we'll
there is entirely too much talking.
I was gonna ask Mike, does this series get better over time? Because I didn't like this episode actually.
No, I didn't either. It talked more than the Gilmore Girls.
The wordiest episode is the second one.
Okay.
So I have to walk through fire before I can enjoy this anime.
I think the first 3 episodes I like them.
I didn't. But it's not horrible. It's just like
it's setting up like a kind of like, because if you watch this episode, like it's very girl needs someone to help her like get these magic swords. And she needs someone who won't be corrupted by their like inherent like they call them a poison, but it's basically like, you know, you have the power in your hand, you want to keep it because you're prideful. So she gets someone who literally can't hold swords and literally refuses to do anything for money. And it's setting up like this very somewhat generic style show.
Yeah.
And it starts playing with that as soon as episode 3.
Okay.
And episode 4 is when it goes, like, because it's just setting up status quo right now.
Yeah.
The next episode is actually really cool, which I will talk about it when we get to that episode. But that one focuses around a villain who his only, like, the only method he has to attack is quick drawing. So, like, it's called Zero Sen, where you just quickly draw your sword and slash someone. But that's the only way he can fight. But he can do it so quickly that if you enter his, like, if you enter the room he's sitting in, you will just die. So it creates a puzzle boss fight. Like, that's what a lot of these fights end up being. And that's why I really like the fights in the show. Mm-hmm. Because Shichika, he's a swordsman who doesn't use swords. Like, that's his whole thing. He is a sword. And in so doing, he has a ton, like, his entire, like fighting style is, revolves around defeating swordsmen and breaking their swords and, like, getting that upper hand on them. And the interesting part of the show, it comes in when he literally can't, like, the show is about, like, a man, this is like a man who is Superman having to, like, be Clark Kent, because if he's Superman, he will, like, not be able to solve, like, the actual issue, which is getting the swords for this girl. And it does things with this premise. Like, I can't wait for episode 4, because episode 4 is, like, the moment when the show plays its hand a little bit more. But even in this first episode, it does play its hand a little bit. Like, whether or not, like, for example, all the blushing... Togame is a strategist. That's her thing. She's a tactician. Yeah, she's a strategian.
Why she called it that? That's not a word.
Literally, she made up her own title.
I heard that. I was like, wonder if that was a mistranslation or if that was part of the joke. I couldn't tell.
Nope, that's part of the joke.
Good.
She combined strategist and tactician. Tactician. Like the show is about her, like, trying to fool everyone, including Shichika. Like, every single time you see her blush in this first episode, where she's trying to get him to fall in love with her, it comes into play later. You don't know if that's real or not. And even down to the idea that she might be tricking herself into loving him. This show goes places, really interesting.
Yeah, I imagine it does, but just like I guess I'm fine with the setup. It's fine. It's a decently way to set up this. It's fine.
No, actually, the setup bored the ever living crap.
Well, that's the thing. It's there's a lot of tell don't show in this first episode, and I really don't like it.
Yeah, and tell don't show is the worst. Like, this could have honestly taken some lessons.
Like, the first half of this episode is just exposition, and I really don't like it.
There is the show is very wordy, but that's because a lot of its jokes are puns.
Well, wordy is not
like
bad.
I thought about coming
how the
into
words
this.
happen, I think.
I thought about coming into this and sitting down and explaining to you guys every single pun that's in the show. But then I thought, wow, that sounds awful.
Yeah, here's the thing. If I get my room on the rotation where we spend an entire year watching the anime that I recommend, I will not have you guys sit down and, like, watch an anime that I truly love that I think you both will hate. I'll try to find, like, a happy mix between the two. So, like, if you're sitting here telling me, like, oh, yeah, I have to explain every joke to you, that's making me very nervous.
No, I'm willing to believe the show.
No.
I will enjoy the show at a certain point. I just didn't like this one very much.
Absolutely.
See, that's the thing about, like,
I choose
Katanagatari.
to believe that Mike is a good enough person that he did not give us something to torture us.
There are puns in the show, but, like, 100%, because when I first watched Katanagatari, I didn't know the puns, and I still enjoyed it.
The translations did a pretty good job of that, actually, I think.
There are so many more than you know, and it adds a layer of enjoyment, but at no point does it distract from it. Like, if you don't recognize a pun, you aren't gonna like a scene less.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, if all the, like, I hate puns. I personally hate them. Like, the fact that Japanese people rely on them so much for their comedy kills me inside. But yeah, I really want you guys to know, if you guys, like, are kind of, like, lukewarm or maybe even a little cold in this episode, I agree with you.
Okay.
I like this episode now, but when I first started watching this show, I watched this episode and I was like, man, I don't like this. And I didn't pick it back up for a full other year.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Like, I think this episode is good, and there are hints for things that happen later on, but it plays to the weaknesses of Katanagatari, which is how wordy it is. And episode 2 is more wordy, but, like, it's a little more interesting. Like, there's a conversation there's a meta conversation in episode 2 that, like, made me laugh the first time I saw it. But it's the wordiest episode, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think, especially, like, the actual conflict in the episode and how it's resolved.
Yeah.
Is fucking.
Well, I don't think wordy is necessarily a
think,
bad thing. I think it's just like like kaiju.
It is wordy. It's more wordy than the damn Gilmore.
Well, yeah, it's wordy. That's not really the part I didn't like about it. You can have, like, conversations be long and like drawn out without, like, making it kind of
Well, Well, I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's the difference between like Sword Art Online doing cafe scenes for the exposition every fucking episode, and like a show like actually doing something interesting with its exposition.
Yeah.
And like, I think some of that, like for example, whenever Togame is explaining the 12 cursed blades, it actually goes and shows you each one.
Can we talk about that real quick?
There's a couple of
Can we talk about? Can we talk about the fact that one of the blades is a gun?
Yeah, I saw that too.
That it is a repeater pistol. It's not even a revolver. It's a straight up magazine fed pistol.
Actually, it is a revolver, and it is 2 revolvers.
Okay, see, in the picture, it looked like a repeater pistol.
Well, it's supposed to be like, like when it shows that one specifically, the line that goes on screen is like, swords that you would never even think could exist. And it's like, yeah, because it's a fucking gun. Yeah. But like, so like all the swords are completely different. Some of them, like one of the swords is 1,000 swords.
I saw that one was like 3 swords. I guess it's more than that.
Yeah, there's also, there's one that's a suit of armor.
Huh. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm just like, I think about the point where I saw the suit of armor, I'm like, okay, so these aren't actually swords.
They're just like swords in spirit.
Yeah, they were made by a swordsmith, so they're swords.
Yeah, basically. Like it we'll go into it later, but it explains that the maker, Kiki, he could literally see into the future and saw got his ideas from the future. Like all the cursed blades, like the cursed blade in the first episode is the most normal cursed blade.
Yeah, because it's the unbreakable blade.
Yeah, although it can be broken, Shichika just wasn't prepared for how tough it was. That's why I love Shichika so much. He's legitimately OP, and Tagame's like, put a fucking limiter on you. There's a moment later on in the series where he gets to go full power, and it's the most satisfying moment in the entire show. But yeah, like the concept of what the swords can even do. There's one sword that makes you immortal if you're stabbed with it.
Seems like not a great sword.
You know, I gotta say, I think the better swords are the ones Naruto did.
What did Naruto... I never watched Naruto. So.
They had a sword that literally ate your chakra. It was a giant mouth. It was a vor sword. And then they had a sword that broke very easily, but as you cut more things with it, it would use your blood to rebuild itself.
Yeah, concepts like that exist with the Curse Blades. Like, the Curse Blades are all... There's one of the fucking swords is invisible, and you just... You can't see it, and it's lightweight. And, like, the person who uses it, like, the reason why I told you, there's a great action scene in the ending credits of the 3rd episode, and you get to see that sword in action, and, like, the animation from that scene is great, and, like, yeah, it's in the next episode, but, like, I think it's a good teaser for what they can do with its action scenes. Mm-hmm. And, like, there's also, like, really cool conceptual episodes that come up. If you're the viewer watching this and you're like, this episode is fine, I don't know if I want to keep watching, that's kind of the good thing about the way we're doing this. We're only doing it one a month.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm gonna watch our viewership by like the time we're in episode 4 be like 10 viewers. It's gonna be like my mom being like, "I'm so proud of you for using your voice."
Mom, I regret to inform you that our viewership is currently 10 viewers.
It's not necessarily true. It's definitely gonna drop after we had this political discussion that was led by me in my hypocrisy in the first 40 minutes.
See, Frog and I, we're comfortable just occasionally doing gallows jokes. You're over here talking about QAnon.
I'm still mad at them because they made being conspiracy theorists not fun.
Again, I think you're using the term conspiracy theorist in a light.
No, they what's the term you guys have been using? They homogenized being conspiracy theorists?
No, I don't think I've ever used that word in my
co-opted.
life.
They co-opted being conspiracy theorist.
Anyway, guys, that's been Katanagatari episode 1. I hope you join us next month.
Actually,
for the next episode.
So we are going to do a seasonal episode, but I did want to talk. What's really weird is isekais have a really bad name, and we're definitely going to talk about this during the seasonal anime. But right now, we have the two granddaddies of isekais. And they're both better than 99% of the garbage that gets come out. Like, even better than stuff like Shield Hero, which Shield Hero is very middling.
I hate it.
Like, we have, so I reincarnated as a spider, which really set the MMO side of isekais, where it's like, oh, you know, you're given special talents, like, it's a great MMO, but, like, we have that one, So I'm a Spider, So What, which has been phenomenal so far. And then we have the actual granddaddy of isekais. And as far as, like, lecherous, garbage human being of a character goes, this man is so much more enjoyable than, like, the fact that he's like, oh man, I got reincarnated in New World. And then he realizes after, like, 5 or 6 years, like, hey, I actually have a new chance at life to not be this garbage 34-year-old NEET that I was.
That seems like every single isekai ever. Wait, hang on.
Oh, wait, no. He's. Are you talking about that one that? God, what's it called?
Is it like Musho Seshi or something? I don't know. The name's in Japanese, so like I can't translate it in my head.
It's a moo or
something.
Mumutsukai.
It's Mushoko Tensei. It's jobless reincarnation.
What's even better is the fact that the fears and problems he had when he was alive are still present as a child. Like, his father made him go outside, and the whole time he was holding on to his dad. Like, he was like, I'm scared to be outside because I died the one time I went out in 4 years.
I'm in. Okay, so Moth is talking highly about an isekai, and usually that's a red flag. I've watched the first episode of this so far, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was a really interesting show.
It's surprisingly good right now.
Like the animation, it's fantastic. It actually uses the concept of being isekai'd and retaining your information really well.
Plus, like, his dad is himbo of the season.
I kind of figured that was high up on the tiers for why you enjoyed the show.
His dad is such a himbo; it's amazing.
I think like it has like a lot of the issues that most isekai have, where the main character is just overpowered. But it actually does show you, the viewer, him honing that ability. Like,
he spent a whole year honing one ability. Because he's a 30-year-old in the body of a literal baby, and he actually has higher function because of that. Yeah.
Like, by the time he's 1 year old, he's already fucking juking and jiving.
I'm just tired of overpowered protagonists, to be honest.
I'm okay if the show...
No, he's working for it. He does have an innate, a magical ability, but he spent an entire year trying to master a single spell.
I mean,
the first time he uses the spell, he passes out, and the spell falls on his lap, and it looks like he pissed himself.
And his parents don't believe him, and he starts crying.
Yeah.
No, and then you would like, Frog, you would actually like, so I got reincarnated as a spider, so what? Because she spends like 10 years completely weak.
Yeah, but is that 10 years faster than a single episode?
No. You spend, like, so far we're 2 episodes in, and she just figured out how to kill, like, lizards repeatedly.
I'm sorry, Moth. I have to say the Japanese name for this one because it just feels good to say. It's Komu desu ga nani ka. I don't know why. I just love saying that name. I don't know why. I'm a fucking weeaboo. Like, fucking throw me in the trash. Like, something about nani ka sounds good to me. I don't know.
Other than that, I've been watching...
Like, to let you know, though, Frog, like, just to emphasize, the final boss fight for her in episode 2, the hardest thing she's fought is, like, a standard corn snake.
Yeah, sure.
And she almost got murdered by a corn snake.
I mean, didn't Slime take, like, a couple episodes to get rolling, too? And then he became, like, literally God, like, the third episode?
No, here's the thing.
Well, okay.
Even in the light novel, she never truly becomes godlike, not compared to the rest of her friends who were actually born godlike.
Okay, is it still a game world?
Yes, this was the first Game World anime. Or this was the first Game World isekai. It did it first.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It literally was not.
That's not true. I doubt that. I don't like game worlds. Game worlds are lame.
There's no doubt to it. That just isn't true.
Game worlds suck.
You're just trying really hard to sell them on it. Look, Frog.
I'll try it.
We've talked about it.
But I don't
like I absolutely despise when I don't mind isekais, but as soon as they're like, and here's a video game element, it's like, why? I hate you, why?
Yeah.
but I like it when the show around it is still like pretty good. Like Slime Isekai.
I hate Slime Isekai.
That show, I love Slime Isekai because like it's not about the character being overpowered. It's about him building a community.
I hate it. I don't like that one.
Okay, well, fine. If we're not going to talk isekais, can we talk about the next thing I'm excited about?
I was going to talk about Skate the Infinity, which is rad.
Oh, we could do that on the seasonal episode.
Just
That is,
watch that for the seasonal, guys.
Watch Skate the Infinity so that you guys can hear me talk about when I used to be...
Kevin, I talked about Skate the Infinity on Twitter a little bit, and Kevin, to Melissa, did a video on it, a short video on it, just today, I believe. Go watch that. Okay, cool. That's it.
It's Sumo. I honestly think the best part of Skate the Infinity, though, is the fact that whoever wrote it, or at least the animation team, knows the body movements you have to make to do certain things.
Yeah, like the director or whoever wrote this is clearly passionate about skating.
Well, the movement's a little bit rough on the ollie. Like, I don't think they bring their front foot back enough on some of their ollies, but like the motion is there. Like, it's all there. Yeah. Those are good moves.
It helps that Bones is the one like actually doing skates, so like they, and I think they're I don't know if they're A teams on it, but it does look really good.
It's a great looking show. Yeah, have you watched episode 2 yet?
No, we're watching that tonight. That being said, the other thing I'm excited for is Resident Evil 8. I've been looking at Resident Evil 8, and all I can think is like there better be an option to side with the bad guys in this game, or else I'm
fucking. I had a stroke. I'm looking at the anime list, and I was like, wait, where's Resident Evil 8?
No, like, we also play games here, and Resident Evil 8 is just like,
it looks good.
Oh my gosh,
it's Resident
Evil. So good.
Tall mommy vampires.
Yeah, mommy werewolves.
I can there's currently a clip out there. I retweeted it not that long ago, and it's like the mommy, like the tall vampire lady picks you up, stabs you, and like Ethan goes to stab her, and then he looks up at her face, and she just looks off in the distance like this. What are you even trying to do? And then just grabs you and throws you. It does dangerous things.
It looks a lot like
this
Resident Evil 7. The best parts of Resident Evil 7, but also with werewolves and stuff now. So
the RE engine is kind of amazing.
It's gorgeous. And Capcom's kind of crazy with the Resident Evil games lately. So
well, and it's looking like it honestly looks like Resident Evil 4-2. So I'm super excited for it.
I mean, yeah, they even have their own version of the merchant. It's like a little fat dude with.
Oh, really?
Oh, I thought that was Salazar.
No.
That looked like Salazar to me.
Why would that be Salazar? You kill him in 4.
Okay, yeah, and you kill the dad in 7 and have to go back and kill him 2 more times in the DLC. I don't want to hear it.
He looks pretty dead.
In 7, they're immortal, like fucking fuzzy. I almost said moth people, but they're not moth.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you don't kill them until you kill them. But like you fucking yeet Salazar. You fucking atomize that motherfucker.
It's pretty good.
And why do you think he looks like Salazar? Salazar is a tiny
He's
Napoleon.
Wearing like the same coat and everything. Like look at the last few seconds of the trailer with Salazar pulled up on your monitor. He looks like he's wearing the same clothes.
He literally looks nothing like Salazar at all. He's a fucking fat short dude, and Salazar is a fucking Napoleonic like fucking.
They're making 4, right?
No, 4 is on the same engine that they decided to start going on with the rest of the game, so 4 will not get a remake.
No, they've already, it's already been leaked.
Oh wait, they are?
Yeah, I guess where I heard they were going to make one.
I thought 4 moving upwards was on an engine they were comfortable with, so they didn't want to remake it.
No, from what I've heard, 4 is getting the remake treatment after 8.
I hope so, because I don't like the controls in 4.
Oh my gosh, I want to beat you right now.
Yeah, Frog is being cringe.
I'm sorry that you like an ancient control scheme that was programmed to be bad.
It was the only time tank controls have ever been good in a game. Like, that is the only time where I've been like, man, tank controls ain't too bad. No, the whole tension of Resident Evil 4 is like the enemies adapted to your tank controls. They realized you couldn't move fast, and so the enemies, their difficulty was at a speed and way that you could handle with the tank controls. They did a lot of work to make tank controls work.
I don't like that game very much.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? I love Resident Evil 5 to everyone else's chagrin.
Stop being fair and balanced, Moth. fucking Frog is being a cringe ass nay baby. Resident Evil 4 is an almost perfect
I'm
game.
thinking a lot of people have
you're
too much
stupid.
nostalgia for
only-
Resident Evil 4.
The only game more perfect than Resident Evil 4 is Resident Evil 5.
Okay, you just gave me cancer again. Like, I am terminal at this point. I played Resident Evil 4 for the first time less than a year ago.
Like, you played, like,
I have
RPGs,
no
you
nostalgia
like
for
them.
this game.
It was like my 4th M-rated game that I ever played.
Okay, I don't know what that means. In relation to how good it is.
Okay,
You have to realize, like, I was still a teenager when Resident Evil 4 first came out, Frog.
Okay.
Like, and my parents were very much against M-rated games. Like, my first 4 M-rated games, and I still remember to this day, is Halo 1, Halo 2, Fable, and Resident Evil
I think this
4.
helps my point.
Yeah, Muff. I was literally about to say, like Frog's entire point is that people have too much nostalgia for it.
No,
You're
but
like,
I
no, you need
played
to
it-
understand. It was my first M-rated game. It's like
I played
yeah,
it
okay.
on PC a year ago, and I've beaten this game 7 times, at least. And there were stealth scenes that I didn't get, like, from the first time. Like, do you know that when you're going through the village the first time, and that bodyguard just kicks the ever-living piss out of you and throws you out the window? If you go back into the house, he's waiting for you and beats you up again.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's a totally optional cutscene.
yeah. It's a really nice, fun game. That I enjoy that game a lot. It has. Like, the only thing I don't like about that game is the island at the end.
Yeah, I got
like-
to that part, and I was just like, I don't want to play anymore.
And honestly, Revelations 2 is really good, too. People don't give that credit, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Especially playing co-op with a significant other, like my wife. I was playing Barry, and my wife was playing the kid. Like, that game's a lot of fun with 2 people.
Very. Yeah,
And
man.
Revelations 1 was good, too. Like, they've been doing some really good stuff. It's weird.
They do some good stuff, and then they do fucking 6.
You know, I honestly think 6 gets a worse name than it deserves, because each of the campaigns was super different. Like, one of the campaigns was entirely stealth-based.
Nicole unfortunately took a break from streaming, but like she is the game she's currently in is Resident Evil 6, and I watched her go through like an entire campaign, and it was miserable.
Like,
it was really
like
bad.
Leon's campaign is the most streamlined of the Resident Evil, but then you start getting into the more experimental campaigns. It's a lot of fun. It's
yeah.
just not a balanced game at all. It's glitchy as all hell, but it's fun.
We have 2 different definitions of fun, sir.
Okay, do you enjoy Earth Defense Force?
No.
I never got a chance
it.
to play
Actually,
it. but
Go
I
it's
think
outside,
good.
Frog. Frog, go outside.
It's so bad!
It's okay, but yeah, it's kind of supposed to
That's
be.
not an excuse!
It literally is. If I made something,
It's supposed to be
purposefully
garbage
bad-
and feel bad to play.
It is fun. It is fun and good controls at the sacrifice of everything else.
Controls suck. What?
The-
What? You have to run sideways to run as the max speed.
Frog,
Yeah,
it
that's
is
cool.
good controls and fun in exchange for everything else. Bad graphics, bad AI, bad audio, and yet it is still endearing. The grind is fun, repeating levels is fun, summoning vehicles on top of your friends in the middle of a bad situation is fun. It is fun.
Frog, you just need to understand, to fight the bug, you must crab walk like the bug.
Exactly.
Just make a good game.
All right.
They did. It's called Earth Defense Force.
No,
4.
you literally just said it's bad.
Earth Defense.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
great.
what's the one that came out recently, like in the last 2 years?
I mean,
Is it
in America,
2039?
I'm not sure. I know the one in Japan just came out, and it's the one in Japan that just came out is fucking voxel based.
Earth Defense Force 5 is good.
Okay, I have the fourth one. I thought
you
it's
get
garbage.
you get the turtle rocket launcher, and you shoot a rocket, and it takes 15 minutes to reach its target. It's great.
Well, the reason Earth Defense Force 5 is good is because, like, there's actually such a diversification of the classes that all 4 classes is fun. Like, especially being able to just summon a vehicle on top of your friend's head while he's not looking.
Okay. I think they should decide on
yeah.
making a game that feels good to play instead of making a game that is goofy. You can have
Yeah,
both.
we already did. It's no, we already did. It's called Undertale.
That's not the same thing at all.
And with that, this has been the We Hate Anime podcast, the only anime podcast that ends by talking about our favorite Undertale AUs.
Mine is honestly, what is my favorite Undertale AU?
I don't know
Jesus
anything.
Christ,
any
he has
of
an
them, to be honest.
answer.
Fresh Tale. because Fresh Tail makes so many people angry.
Oh, you just like Fresh Sands.
I love Fresh Sands.
I only know a couple because
Fresh
of
Sands is pretty dope.
iPatch Wolf's recent video on it.
But yeah, as always. I've been English Mike. You can follow me on Twitter. You can check all of our stuff in the doobly doo down below. Frog is on Twitter as well. You can check Moth on Twitter and give him some followers because he could use them.
I'm fine. I've been like steadily gaining 3 or 4 followers a week, and it's just people that I like to talk to. I don't need to be a 10,000 follower dude. I don't curate for that.
Nah. You need to start posting your really dumb takes.
You gotta diversify your portfolio,
really dumb
dude.
takes.
Dude, all of my posts on Twitter are just like me rambling into the wind. I'm fine.
I love how when you post something on Twitter, it's completely batshit insane, and then you come to me and it's like, "Hey, Mike, do you think this would make people upset on Twitter?" And it's the most milquetoast thing ever.
All right, well, that's it, folks. Until next time, see you next time.
Go watch
Bye-bye.
the Skate Show. It's really good. I like that.
We're gonna go watch Baby Driver Hong Kong.
Yeah. What?